And we'll get started with Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Thanks, Gregor. For Logan, please, how would you describe your first Stanley Cup playoff series?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, I think. Edmonton played us hard all series. It was 4 games, but, it was a lot tighter than that. And I think we missed the fans. It would have been, a good time having them in the building for the last 2 games at home, but overall it was a good series.
We'll go next to Mitchell Clinton from Jets TV. Go ahead, Mitch.
Thanks, Gregor. For Neal, I'll just start with Neal. Just how did the legs feel the day after the triple overtime, and then how much value was it in the second day of being off the ice before getting to practice today?
Yeah, the legs felt terrible. Not good at all, but yeah, it was really nice having that second day off, just kind of let the body relax a little bit, and not only physically but mentally, just step away for a couple days.
We'll go back to Mitch Clinton from Jets TV. Go ahead, Mitch.
So then, I guess for Neal as well, what was the focus of today? Is it more or less, as Paul Maurice likes to say, just getting up and down the ice and kind of getting the feel for being back out there and getting the legs working again?
Yeah, exactly. Just getting back into it, getting a sweat going and get your legs moving again. Because like I said, the last couple of days really didn't do much. Kind of sat around and let the body recover. And today was getting back up to speed.
We'll go next to Ted Wyman from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Ted.
This is for Logan. Logan, I remember talking to you in training camp in January. It was on the day that you were elevated from, I guess, the Breakfast Club to the main group. Could you possibly have imagined then that you'd have come this far by May, playing such a big role in the playoff series?
Well, I think obviously it was my goal to get into the lineup and be a part of this team this year. So that was, something I was thinking about coming into camp. But, we had a lot of bodies at first at training camp. We had 8 guys on one-way deals. So I just wanted to come in and work hard and see what I could do. And, it was definitely nice to get in some games this year and then definitely try and help the team win in the playoffs.
We'll go back to Ted Wyman for a follow-up. Go ahead, Ted.
Logan, if you don't mind revisiting this, could you tell us what you think has been the key to your evolution as a player this season?
I think I'm just, growing into my body. I grew at such a young age and, I was kind of a lanky kid and I'm starting to, maybe mature a little bit. Peeler might not think so, but just, getting comfortable with my body and getting stronger and better on my skates. So a combination of things, but I think the biggest thing is just, in the summer working out and getting bigger and stronger.
We'll go next to Carter Brooks from Game On. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, Neal. One of your opponents from the first round has recently been subject to some online racist remarks. As a defenseman, a fellow player in the NHL, what does some of this? How do you react to this news? Taking a step back from hockey and just as a person.
Well, yeah, it just goes to show that there's a lot of things that are bigger than hockey. I mean, it's unacceptable what happened to him, and I know we stand behind him and we stand with him, and there's no room for that in hockey, and that's kind of the main initiative around the league is that hockey is for everyone.
We'll go next to Paul Edmonds from 680 CGOB Jets Radio. Go ahead, Paul.
This is for Logan. Logan, you're one of the tallest players in the league, and talking to Tyler Myers in the past when he played here, the league only allows a stick to be a certain length, and he had applied for an exemption, which was granted. I was wondering if you played to the length of the certain rule in the NHL, or if you've had an exemption in your stick length.
I'd have to ask the equipment managers on that. They just get me some sticks and I use whatever they put in front of me. So I think there might be an exemption. They're pretty long. So I'm not sure though. I'd have to ask them.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
This is for you again, Logan. I think a lot of people look at your size and that's kind of their focal point, right? I mean, you're a big stick, you play hard, you play physical, but you also have a very, very smart game. Your hockey IQ and your decision making has been impressive this season, and I'm kind of focused on that part. What kind of work do you put in to make sure you're making the right decisions in such what would be a pivotal year for you?
Oh, I think it started when I was younger. I was always a bigger kid and couldn't really move around that well. So I relied on that a lot when I was younger, and I think it's helped me now that my feet have caught up a little bit, and I'm still able to try and make some plays and hang on to the puck sometimes. So I think it started when I was younger, but I think it's also confidence in your abilities and just going out and trying to make plays sometimes.
Go back to Jeff Hamilton for a follow-up. Go ahead, Jeff.
We're going to bug you again, Logan. Confidence is obviously a big thing, but it's more than just good plays. It's got to be the environment you're around, I imagine, and the players you're with. Can you kind of just speak to the group that you have there and how it's helped you kind of develop into the player you become this season?
Yeah, for sure. We got some great older guys and people that have helped me a lot this year. And you just watch how hard they work in practice. Guys like, Paul Stasi and Blake Wheeler, who are been in the league a long time, are constantly working on their craft and trying to get better. And as a young guy coming in, you go on the ice and you see that and you want to, do the same thing because you want to be like those guys. So I think a lot of guys lead by example on this team, and we got a really good room.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore from 680 CGOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you, Gregor. Logan, congratulations on the series. First question is for you. Speaking of sticks, how awkward was it playing with Trevor Lewis's stick there when he handed off to you for about a half a shift or so?
Yeah, Tomer didn't want to give me his lefty, I don't think. He wanted to keep that one in his hand. So, Louis gave it back, and I was just trying to use it to stay in lanes, I guess. But I don't know what would have happened if it landed on my stick.
We'll go back to Kelly Moore for a follow-up. Go ahead, Kelly.
For Neil, did you see Kyle Connor out of the corner of your eye as Connor McDavid was coming down on you to play that perfect pass for the game-winning goal?
No, I didn't see him. As a defenseman, like when there's a turnover just crossing the blue line, that there's a potential, especially when the long change like that, that there's a potential that our forwards will be hanging behind or potentially get a breakaway like he did. But no, I can't admit to seeing him.
Go next to Tim Campbell from NHL.com. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, this is for Neil. Neil, I'm wondering, after having had a couple of days to digest the first series, how hard you thought it was to get over the hump to those victories, and now how much harder will it be in the second round?
Yeah, it only goes uphill from here, I think. I think one of the guys said it earlier this year, like that series, the margin was razor thin. It was a 4-0 sweep, but it certainly did feel like that with 3 overtime games, and even the first game was a 2-1 win with 2 empty nets. So it was a tough series, and we expected to get harder.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Logan, you talked earlier this year about wanting to be part of the penalty kill. What was it like to be part of it during parts of that round, and how much did your confidence grow from a denial of Connor McDavid and then that big hit on Draisaitl early in the series?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was huge for my confidence to get out there and get a stick on puck. And it's something I did with the Moose last 2 years, and definitely a role I'm comfortable playing in. So I was just happy I could help the team, and that's part of my job to play in the NHL is to be a good penalty killer. So I take a lot of pride in that, and hopefully I can keep helping out.
And final question to Jeff Hamilton from the Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Neil, can you address Logan's season? I mean, as a guy who, and not just maybe his evolution this year, but having a guy that large on the back end and what it kind of brings to that group.
Yeah, he's been great for us this year. Obviously got to meet him last year when I came here in training camp a little bit. And obviously the first thing that jumps out is size, but then when he comes on the team and you get to know him a little bit, I think what's underrated is his hockey IQ. I would never tell him to his face, so don't tell him I said this, but he's a heck of a player, and you can see the development that he's been making throughout the year, and he's always learning, and like I said, he's been really